Today's topic is Shovavim names, Shnayim Mikra V'Echad Targum, and stars. What's the connection? Is there a connection? Parshas Shemos is the first week of Shovavim, which is the 6 weeks that run through Parshas Mishpatim. Shemos Ve'erev Boi B'Shalach Yisrael Mishpatim, plus 2 weeks on a leap year. Shemos is also Roshi Tevis. It's the acronym for Shnayim Mikra V'Echad Targum. The parsha starts off the first pasuk, Ve'ela Shemos B'nei Yisrael Habayim Mitzrayim. These are the names of the Bnei Yisrael who came down to Mitzrayim. Rashi explains that even though we already know the names of the Shvatim from the last parsha that came down to Mitzrayim, still the pasuk reiterated the names in order to show us the love that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has for Klal Yisrael. And Rashi says because the Bnei Yisrael compared to the stars, which HaKadosh Baruch Hu also names when He calls them out, when He brings them out one by one at night. What's the connection between Shovavim and Shnayim Mikra V'Echad Targum? Why is Shemos this parsha that stands for Shnayim Mikra V'Echad Targum? I once heard of Pshat, I don't remember who I heard it from, but I once heard that very often what happens is, after Simchas Torah, when we start Parshas Bereshis, a lot of people they say that, you know what, this is the year they're going to start being Ma'aver Sedra, they're going to do Shnayim Mikra V'Echad Targum. And what happens? Maybe they do it 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but it peters out. And by the time we get up to Parshas Shemos, by the time we finish Sefer Bereshis, they're no longer being Ma'aver Sedra. Shemos is the beginning of a new Sefer. It's a time that we could start again. It's a time of renewal. Now is a time that even if you missed out some parshas from Sefer Bereshis, it's a new Sefer, Sefer Shemos. Now you could start being Ma'aver Sedra again. Similarly, we find with Shovavim. Shovavim is a time to work on personal Kedusha. A few months ago we were holding Elul Tishrei, we were holding by Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, the Yom Nirayim, and people feel so much chizik, people feel so stark, so strong, and they feel that they could make real changes, lasting changes in their life. But what happens? Time goes on. It gets dark outside, it gets cold, and the fire that we once had, it starts to burn out. Right now, we're saying is a time of chizik, a time of renewal. Now is the time that we could start working again on our Kedusha. We could start working again on being mechazik ourselves. It's no coincidence that this time is starting with Parshas Shemos, which is the beginning of Galus Mitzrayim. It's the beginning of a dark, deep descent for Klal Yisrael, and it runs through Parshas Mishpatim, which is when Klal Yisrael got the Torah at Har Sinai. Think about it for a minute. When the Bnei Yisrael were in Mitzrayim, they sank down to the lowest of the low, the 49th level of Tumah. There was only one more level of Tumah that they could possibly have sank any lower. They were at the bottom. They were Ovdei Avodah Zarah. And still what happens? 7 weeks later, they get out of Mitzrayim. 7 weeks later is Matan Torah. They're at Har Sinai. They're getting the Torah. How is this possible? How could you go from the 49th level of Tumah all the way to the pinnacle, to the highest heights, go all the way to Matan Torah in just 7 weeks? How is that possible? The Nesiv Shalom says, this is the koach, this is the strength in Sur Meirah, in staying away from something bad. Even if you're not holding by the Asay Tov, even if you're not doing anything good right now, you're not taking on anything new, but just abstaining from bad, this is the koach of Sur Meirah. This is what could take you from the lowest to the lows of Mitzrayim, all the way to the highest of the highs of Matan Torah. This is the message of Shovavim. Even if right now you're holding in a low place, even if right now you're holding in a place that you're not proud of, a place where you don't want to be, now is a time of renewal. Now is a time to mechazik yourselves in the Sur Meirah, in staying away from something bad and abstaining from something that you don't want to be involved in. With staying away from the Sur Meirah, you'll be uplifted from the Sheol Tachtias, from the lowest depths, and bring yourselves to the highest levels of Kedusha. This is why HaKadosh Baruch Hu now reiterated the names of the Bnei Yisrael coming down to Mitzrayim, to show His love. Galus Mitzrayim is about to start. There's going to be dark, difficult days ahead. Klal Yisrael is going to sink into the lowest levels. How do the Bnei Yisrael get through that? How do they overcome this? How do they overcome the dark Galus, the sinking down to the lowest levels of Tumah, forgetting who they are, forgetting what they once were? What prevents that from happening? How can you get through that? The answer is that what helps us get through the darkness of night is knowing that Hashem loves us. Even if we don't understand why certain things are happening, but we know, and we have to know, that Hashem loves us. The Gemara Megillah Daf Chav Testament Aleph says, "Ba'yiru kama chavivin b'nei Yisrael fnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, shebechol makom shagalu shchina iman." Come and see how beloved Klal Yisrael is to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That wherever the Bnei Yisrael go into Galus, the Shechina goes into Galus with them. Where is Hashem when we are in Galus? He's right there with us. Why? Because He loves us. The Jewish nation is compared to the stars. Why are we compared to the stars? Stars have a unique quality. Stars can only be seen when it's dark outside. Stars only shine in the night. We may be in the darkness of Galus, but if we remember Hashem's love for us, we can be mechazik in the Sor Meirah. We have a reason why we want to stay away from stuff. We have a reason why we want to be Sor Meirah, why we want to stay away from bad, and why we want to grow in Inyan Kedusha. We can shine like the stars that we are. When the Bnei Yisrael were in Mitzrayim, what stopped them from hitting the lowest level, from descending down to the 50th level of Tumah? What prevented them from hitting the bottom? So the Medrash says there were three things that the Bnei Yisrael abstained from the whole time they were in the Galus of Mitzrayim. They didn't change their names, they didn't change their clothing, and they didn't change their language. What's so special about these three things? The whole time that they were in Mitzrayim, even though they sank to the 49th level of Tumah, even though they were steeped in all sorts of Tumah and Avodah Zarah, but the whole time they remembered, we are Yidden, we are proud to be Yidden, and we will be identifiable as Yidden. We're the Bnei Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov. We are Yidden, and that means Hashem loves us no matter what. Chavivim Bnei Yisrael Shenikru Banim Lamakim. We are Hashem's children. We have to remember that we are Yidden. They didn't change their names. They kept their Jewish names. They didn't change their language. They kept their Jewish language, and they kept their Jewish mode of dress. Proudly saying that we are Yidden. This is something that we have to remember. No matter how low we've fallen, no matter what we've done, where we've been, or why we've done it, every guy, every girl, we are Yidden. Yisrael afa pisha chata Yisrael hu. A Yid is a Yid, and Hashem loves us because we are Yidden no matter where we've been, no matter what we've done. Let's try to live a little higher and realize that right now is the time to be mechazik ourselves and to recommit. Let's remember that we are Yidden, we are stars, and let's try to see Hashem through the darkness.